Hello dear viewers and welcome back to our channel. Today we find ourselves discussing a rather somber and complex development concerning a member of the royal family who has remained significantly outside the public eye in recent years, yet whose past continues to cast a long shadow. We are, of course, talking about Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. Recent tragic news has unfortunately brought his name back into the headlines, intertwined once again with the scandal that irrevocably altered the course of his life and his standing within the monarchy. It appears the Duke may be facing a new, deeply sensitive predicament, and some suggest his path forward, perhaps even towards a semblance of redemption, might lie unexpectedly with his youngest daughter. Before we delve into the intricacies of this situation, if you find our discussions on royal matters informative and engaging, please do take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you these updates. Now, let's set the scene. Many of you will recall the tumultuous period surrounding Prince Andrew, particularly escalating in 2019. His association with the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, who faced serious charges related to sex trafficking before his death in custody, led to intense scrutiny and damaging allegations against the Duke himself. One of the most prominent figures in this narrative was Jeffrey, who bravely spoke out, accusing both Epstein and Prince Andrew of abuse, alleging she was trafficked by Epstein, sometimes for the prince's benefit, claims Prince Andrew has consistently and vehemently denied. The fallout was significant. Following a controversial television interview and facing a civil lawsuit brought by Miss Jeffrey in the United States, Prince Andrew reached an out-of-court financial settlement with her in early 2022. While this settlement involved no admission of guilt on the prince's part, it included a substantial donation to Miss Jeffrey's charity supporting victims' rights, and a statement in which the Duke acknowledged her suffering as a victim of abuse and pledged to demonstrate his regret for his association with Epstein by supporting the fight against sex trafficking. However, the damage to his reputation was immense. He was stripped of his honorary military titles and royal patronages, effectively removing him from public royal duties. He ceased using the title His Royal Highness in any official capacity, marking a dramatic fall from grace for the late Queen Elizabeth II's second son. Against this already fraught backdrop, profoundly sad news emerged just this past Friday. Jeffrey tragically passed away at the age of 41. Reports indicate her death was by suicide. This devastating event has, understandably, sent ripples through the many lives she touched, and has almost inevitably reopened scrutiny surrounding Prince Andrew. The news appears to have, as some commentators have put it, opened a fresh can of worms for the Duke, placing him under a renewed, albeit somber, spotlight. Royal sources speaking anonymously to the press have been quick to manage expectations regarding any potential return to public life for Andrew. They emphasize that a comeback to official royal duties is simply not on the cards. The decisions made in 2019 and cemented by the settlement remain firmly in place. However, these same sources suggest that this tragic turn of events presents Prince Andrew with a different kind of opportunity, not for a royal return, but perhaps for personal redemption. They posit that this moment offers him a chance to finally fulfill the spirit, if not the explicit ongoing actions, of the promise he made as part of his settlement with the late Miss Jeffrey, the promise to support victims and combat the very scourge she accused him of being connected to. One insider, quoted in the Sun newspaper, put it rather bluntly: "If he has half a brain, he must show compassion. He must react to Virginia's death, and do it quickly." This source suggests that a prompt, sincere, and compassionate response could mark the beginning of his absolution, a way to demonstrate genuine regret and empathy in the face of this tragedy. The implication is clear. Silence in this context would be incredibly damaging. Doing nothing, the source warned, would mean the silence will be deafening, potentially interpreted as callousness or indifference, further cementing negative public perception. So, how might the Duke act? What form could this compassionate response take? Other insiders have floated a specific and perhaps strategically astute suggestion. Prince Andrew should seek the assistance of his own daughter, Princess Eugenie. This isn't merely a suggestion based on family ties, it's rooted in Eugenie's own established work in a relevant field, Princess Eugenie is the co-founder of an organization called the Anti-Slavery Collective. This initiative actively works to combat modern slavery in all its forms, which explicitly includes the trafficking of women and exploitation. The very issues at the heart of the Epstein scandal and Virginia Giuffre's experiences. Princess Eugenie has dedicated considerable time and effort to this cause, building credibility and a platform focused on raising awareness and supporting survivors. The suggestion is that Prince Andrew could, perhaps through Eugenie's guidance and potentially leveraging the framework of her collective, find a meaningful way to support charities or organizations dedicated to fighting sex trafficking and aiding its victims. Royal editor Matt Wilkinson highlighted this connection, reminding the public that Andrew had indeed pledged as part of his settlement to demonstrate his regret by supporting victims. Engaging with Eugenie's established and respected work could be seen as a tangible, albeit indirect, way of honoring that pledge. However, this potential path is not without its significant hurdles, primarily, according to reports, stemming from the Duke's own alleged past reluctance. The sources who suggest this course of action also express considerable skepticism based on previous experiences. They paint a picture of a prince who has historically been unwilling to embrace such rehabilitative efforts, despite numerous attempts by others to guide him towards them. The problem is that many people have tried to persuade Andrew to do some kind of charity work as a way forward, one source lamented. There have been several proposals, but every time it stalls as he shows no willing. This paints a picture of missed opportunities, of suggestions made for constructive engagement falling on deaf ears. It suggests a pattern of resistance or perhaps an inability to see the necessity or benefit of such actions, whether for genuine altruistic reasons or even for strategic reputation management. If these accounts are accurate, it raises the question, why would this time be any different? Yet the context asterisk is asterisk different now. The tragic death of Virginia Giuffre adds a profound layer of gravity and sensitivity to the situation. The pressure surrounding Prince Andrew, which had perhaps subsided slightly as he maintained a low profile, seems poised to intensify once more. The moral imperative to respond, to show some form of human decency and perhaps follow through on past commitments, is arguably stronger than ever. Could this increased pressure, this somber moment of reflection prompted by Miss Giuffre's passing, be the catalyst that finally pushes the Duke to act? Is it possible that now, facing this unique and delicate situation, he might finally turn to Princess Eugenie, seeking her help to navigate a path towards demonstrating support for victims in a way that is both meaningful and credible? It remains to be seen. Prince Andrew finds himself at a difficult crossroads. He cannot undo the past, nor can he reclaim the public role he lost. But the current circumstances born from tragedy present him with a stark choice: remain silent and risk further condemnation, or find a way, perhaps through his daughter's established work, to demonstrate compassion and finally act upon the pledge he made during his settlement. His decision, or lack thereof, will undoubtedly be closely watched and analyzed. This entire situation is a stark reminder of the long-lasting impact of the Epstein scandal, not only on the victims but also on the periphery figures drawn into its orbit, including members of the royal family. It highlights the complexities of reputation, redemption, and responsibility in the public eye. So, to summarize the key points, the tragic death of Virginia Giuffre, a key accuser of Prince Andrew, has brought renewed focus on the Duke. Sources suggest he faces pressure to react compassionately, viewing it as a potential path to personal absolution and a way to fulfill promises made in his 2022 settlement. A specific suggestion involves seeking help from his daughter, Princess Eugenie, leveraging her work with the Anti-Slavery Collective to support anti-trafficking efforts. However, this is complicated by reports of Andrew's past unwillingness to engage in similar rehabilitative charity work. The question now is whether the current intense pressure and the gravity of the situation will finally prompt him to act. This is certainly a delicate and evolving story, one that touches upon themes of justice, accountability, and the enduring search for healing and closure for victims of abuse. It also raises questions about the role and conduct of public figures, especially those connected to institutions like the monarchy. What are your thoughts on this complex situation? Do you believe Prince Andrew should make a public statement, or take specific actions in response to Virginia Giuffre's death. Do you think involving Princess Eugenie and her charity work is an appropriate path forward? We would be very interested to hear your perspectives in the comments section below. Please share your views respectfully. And of course, if you found this update valuable, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and perhaps click the notification bell so you don't miss our future discussions on royal and current affairs. Thank you so much for watching and for your continued support. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.